Now look, I am no means a tax accountant or a tax expert on this. I just want to share what I have learned about taxes as an independent contractor. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey, and I created this channel to vlog about my life as a full-time online teacher. So if this is your first time seeing me, please make sure it is not your last by hitting that red subscription button and the bell down below to be notified of new videos each week, and to also give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for your support. If you are an online teacher like me, or maybe you are considered an independent contractor in another field, then you know that we have to set aside money for taxes for all of our earnings. And if this is your first time being an independent contractor or an online teacher and you're just like,
I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do about taxes and money, I really need support in this.
that is okay. It is okay to not know what you need to do in terms of taxes. I was pretty much the same way when it came to handling money for taxes on independent contractor earnings. What I have learned as a independent contractor, which if you are an Outschool teacher, you are considered an independent contractor too. A good rule of thumb for your earnings is to set aside at least 30% for taxes. And the only reason that I say 30 is because each state is going to vary on how much that the state and the federal government is willing to take in terms of taxes. There's a certain percentage for the federal, and then percentages are going to vary depending on what state that you live in. If you do figure out what the percentage in your state for taxes is, then by all means, then you know how much you need to set aside for taxes per year. However, if you're not really sure, or you've done a lot of research and you're still really confused about how much you need to set aside for taxes, then go ahead and just set aside about 30% of your earnings. Now, maybe setting aside 30% of your earnings may seem like what you are actually earning as an independent contractor is not a lot. Especially if you're an Outschool teacher, considering Outschool already has to take 30% of their pay for the classes that we offer on there to use Zoom and to advertise our classes. But now we also have to set aside another 30% for taxes. So we have 60% of what we're earning taken away. But that still shouldn't scare you. One of the things that I have learned about from our tax person is that anything that you buy that is in relation to your business is tax deductible. And you want to take full advantage of tax deductibles. Maybe you have a camera that you use for classes. If you bought it within the tax year that you're filing, that's tax deductible. If you got a new laptop for classes, that's tax deductible. Maybe you got a new headphone set, that's tax deductible. A ring light, tax deductible. You got props, you got supplies, tax deductible. Pretty much anything that you are going to be using for your business is tax deductible. And even the office space that you use to teach your classes in is tax deductible. Maybe you post on social media, your phone and your phone bill are tax deductible too. So don't forget to save your receipts and to save your transactions for those things related to your business. They're going to be a huge benefit to you come tax season. And so another thing that I also want to share is it's always good if you are an independent contractor to get a hold of a tax accountant. Like, tax accountants are going to be your most helpful person in terms of how much money you need to set aside for taxes and how much each things can be deducted for your taxes. And not to mention, if you are considered an independent contractor, then you are also considered self-employed. And depending on where you live, you would also need to report quarterly for your taxes, which is another reason why I recommend that you go to an actual tax accountant to make sure if you need to report quarterly or if you only need to report when you're filing for your taxes yearly. Again, this is all going to depend on what state you live in. Each state's going to have their own bylaws in terms of what independent contractors have to do for taxes. And just another thing to note about outschool teachers, specifically part-time teachers or full-time teachers. So Outschool does not give out 1099 forms, no matter how much money you make. And we mostly get paid through PayPal. So with PayPal, if you make less than $20,000 a year and only have less than around 200 payment transactions, PayPal will also not give you a 1099 form. It's only when you have your earnings above $20,000 and more than 200 payment transactions that they will give you the 1099 form that you can use for taxes. So if you are a part-time teacher and you make less than $20,000 a year with Outschool, just know that you will have to report your earnings to your tax accountant as is. So if you're not putting aside money, you need to go ahead and do that now, because once tax season rolls around again, you're going to be in trouble, because when tax season comes around, we are going to be owing the government. We're not going to get a refund or a return from them. My best advice to you as an independent contractor is to make sure you get a hold of an actual tax accountant as soon as possible. You don't want your online business to be affected because of tax reasons, or that you have to owe a lot more money than you have. You don't want to do that. So before we leave, make sure you set aside at least 30% for taxes, unless you know 100% sure how much money you need to set aside for taxes for your business, right? Keep a track of your receipts and your transactions for your deductibles. Those are going to be your saving grace come tax season, all right? And then, as always, make sure to find a great tax accountant that you can count on. If there are any other tips that I did not share in this video, please leave a comment down below. I want to hear if you do anything else that you feel like would be helpful for taxes too. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell down below to be notified of new videos each week, and make sure to share this video with not only your Outschool online teachers, but anyone who is considered an independent contractor that is not really sure what they need to do for their taxes. And I will see you in the next video.